Have you ever woken up in the morning and suddenly felt your breath becoming shallower, slower, as if even the air itself has grown heavier with time? If so, then this video is meant just for you, because the final principle we share may truly surprise you and leave you feeling lighter than ever before. Breathing, something we always take for granted, suddenly becomes a struggle. At some point, climbing just a few steps begins to tighten the chest. Walking a short distance leaves us gasping for air. Could it be that our body is quietly trying to tell us something? At this age, everything changes silently. The lungs are no longer as elastic as before, respiratory muscles gradually weaken, and the heart needs a slower rhythm to stay safe. Many think this is just a normal part of aging. But are we perhaps ignoring a warning? Because shortness of breath, if not properly understood and cared for, can severely impact our quality of life. It doesn't just make us tired and sleepless, but can also leave us feeling empty, discouraged, and indifferent to the simple joys of everyday life. But don't worry just yet. There are causes that are quite easy to adjust, and there are also gentle yet effective methods that can help improve this condition, all of which will be shared in today's video. Most importantly, the final tip may completely change the way you feel about your own breath. If you're over 60, leave a comment with the number 1 so we know you're listening. And if your heart feels seen and accompanied, hit the subscribe button for Senior Compass, so each day that passes may become a day of greater peace, lightness, and love. 1. Shortness of breath from underlying illnesses. Silent signals. Some things happen quietly inside the body, like an unspoken melody, low, deep, and filled with hidden meanings. Shortness of breath doesn't always come rushing in unannounced. Often it slips silently into a senior's daily life, through signs we easily overlook. A slight breathlessness while getting dressed, a sigh after a slow step, or a vague heaviness in the chest with no clear reason. The causes of shortness of breath in old age often lie in hidden illnesses, and they are just as quiet as the symptoms themselves. One of the most common is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, a consequence of years of inhaling dust, living in polluted environments, or having a history of smoking. At this stage, the bronchial tubes are inflamed and narrowed, making air flow in and out of the lungs as difficult as drinking through a bent straw. Asthma, a name often associated with children, can, in fact, resurface or persist into old age. Nighttime breathing troubles, a heavy chest, or wheezing are the body's soft whispers calling for attention. Heart failure, where the heart becomes too weak to pump enough blood to the lungs and other organs, is also a silent culprit. Seniors often don't notice an irregular heartbeat, but the feeling of not getting enough air may be the first warning sign. Sometimes simply lying down triggers breathlessness, a critical symptom not to be ignored. We must also mention pneumonia, pleural effusion, and even lung cancer, conditions that, if undetected, slowly damage the delicate lung tissues day by day. Seniors often mistake these signs for just a light cough, or just tired, or probably just age, allowing the illness to advance before it is discovered. Compared to youth, the immune system and lung elasticity are diminished, meaning the body can no longer compensate like it once could. Even a small injury can have significant consequences. Many older adults hesitate to go for checkups or tests, which makes it easier for illness to quietly take hold without their knowledge. Shortness of breath is not just a sensation in the lungs, it affects the whole of life. When your breathing is limited, sleep becomes fragmented, your mind fatigued, your memory dulled, and your spirit drained. Beloved routines, gardening, grocery shopping, sitting by a warm teapot, suddenly feel out of reach because the body no longer has the strength. Take a few moments to reflect. Have you ever paused mid-walk just to catch your breath? Have you ever declined a stroll because your chest felt heavy? If so, that's not just weariness. It may be a message from within, waiting to be heard. Regular checkups, even when nothing seems wrong, are an act of self-love. A correct diagnosis, early treatment, and proper care can help return your breathing to its natural ease. And you deserve that relief. With every day, every breath, every precious moment of your golden years. 2. Shortness of breath from the living environment. Invisible air, visible burden. There are things the eyes cannot see, yet the body senses clearly. Air is one of them. For seniors, air is not just something to breathe. It's what nurtures peace, relaxation, and the gentle rhythm of a day unfolding. Yet when the environment becomes polluted and stifling, something as simple as breathing becomes a struggle. Many people overlook the fact that the place they live in might be the hidden cause of their increasingly frequent episodes of breathlessness. Homes located near highways, construction sites, or industrial zones often harbor levels of fine dust and toxic gases well above safety limits. Younger people might still manage, but for seniors, lungs are more fragile, more delicate, and more easily harmed by each tiny particle. One elderly man once shared, "I feel a weight in my chest every time cars pass by, especially during rush hour." It wasn't weakness. It was the air that had changed. Exhaust fumes, heat radiating from the pavement, strange odors lingering in the living space. All of these slowly affect every alveolar cell in the lungs. During colder seasons or sudden weather transitions, damp or shifting air can cause the airways to constrict. Seniors are especially prone to catching colds, sinus infections, and even bronchial spasms, making each breath laborious, raw, and painful in the chest. Many families keep doors and windows tightly shut to block out dust, not realizing that this also traps stagnant air inside. If someone in the house smokes, burns incense, or uses charcoal heaters, the indoor air may be even worse than that on a busy street. Repeated exposure to such conditions slowly damages the lungs, increasing the risk of developing COPD, chronic bronchitis, or asthma in the elderly. So what can we do? Start with the simplest things. Open the windows during the freshest hours of the day, usually early morning or after a rain. Add a few small indoor plants, both to purify the air and to create a soothing space. If possible, invest in an air purifier, or simply place a clean bowl of water in the room to maintain humidity. Also, be sure to keep warm during cold weather, especially the neck, chest, and soles of the feet. If these areas get chilled, the lungs can tighten, triggering sudden breathlessness. A soft scarf, a pair of woolen socks, may be the shield your aging airways need. If your home is near a polluted area, consider adding a dust-blocking curtain or planting a small green hedge in front of your porch. And whenever you can, spend more time in places with trees and fresh air, like parks or lakes, so your lungs can recharge with nature. Finally, remember, breath is the bridge that connects us to life. And for that bridge to stand strong, it needs a gentle, clean, pressure-free environment. Because sometimes, just one clean breeze is enough to make a day feel breathable again. And you deserve days like that, light, clear, and filled with the tender breaths of peace. 3. Shortness of breath from daily habits, the gentle traps of daily life. There are habits we've kept for years, not out of intention, but because they're familiar and comforting. Yet what's familiar can sometimes be what tires us most, especially when age has gracefully settled in. Breathing, once second nature, slowly becomes burdened because of choices in our daily lives we've never noticed. One of the most familiar culprits is smoking, a habit many seniors once shared in their younger days. Years of smoking blacken the lungs, reduce respiratory function, and lead to COPD, lung cancer, or asthma. One elderly man once said, "I've quit now, but I think it's too late." But no, it's never too late for your body to breathe. Clean again. Even not smoking isn't a guarantee if you live in an environment with secondhand smoke. Smoke lingers in the air, clings to curtains and cushions, and quietly finds its way into your lungs, especially in small, poorly ventilated homes. Another habit that seems harmless but deeply affects breathing is a sedentary lifestyle. After retirement, free time increases, but so does inactivity. Respiratory muscles weaken when unused, lung capacity decreases, and oxygen intake drops, making every movement feel exhausting. A day spent mostly sitting or lying down, even without feeling tired, still makes the lungs lazy to breathe. Some, in an effort to compensate, engage in intense exercise, but do it incorrectly. For seniors, trying to walk too far, lift heavy weights, or do push-ups like in younger years only burdens the lungs and heart. Exercising the wrong way won't make you healthier. It can actually cause breathlessness, exhaustion, or even respiratory injury. Then there are dietary habits, overeating, late meals, or consuming too many greasy foods. A bloated stomach pushes against the diaphragm, pressing into the lungs, making the chest feel tight and breathing difficult, especially after eating. Some even lie down right after a meal, compressing the airways and disrupting normal respiration. And one often overlooked behavior, holding your breath during stress. Seniors, when anxious, angry, or sad, often forget to breathe deeply. Gradually, the breath shortens and shallows, leading to oxygen deficiency in the brain, dizziness, headaches, and an unexplainable sense of suffocation. Chronic stress, emotionally, is a kind of invisible breathlessness. So what can we do? We don't need drastic changes. Each day, take a few slow steps around the house, stretch gently in the morning, or practice a few deep breathing exercises at dusk. Try meditating for just 5 minutes, simply to listen to your own breath. Have lighter dinners. Split your meals into smaller portions and avoid lying down right after eating. Most importantly, if you still smoke, find someone to support you in quitting. If a loved one smokes, gently remind them, because it's a way to protect your shared living space. Growing older doesn't mean stopping. It means moving forward at a slower pace. Slower, but steadier. Slower, but stronger. Slower, so you can keep breathing for longer, and every breath you protect today is a gift for all your tomorrows. 4. Restoring breath. Reclaiming peace. Some things in life are unchangeable, like age, like time. But there are also things that, with a bit of listening and patience, the body can gently recover from. Shortness of breath, often mistaken as the end of freedom in our golden years, can actually be soothed, supported, and even significantly improved, if we know where to begin. The first and most important step is identifying the cause. Not every breathlessness is the same. Sometimes it signals an underlying respiratory illness, but sometimes it's simply due to an unsuitable habit. Guessing on your own and delaying a doctor's visit can worsen the condition. See your physician if you notice shortness of breath, shallow breathing, or a chest that feels heavy as if weighed down by stones, even if the sensation is fleeting. Depending on the cause, your doctor may recommend chest X-rays, lung function tests, ECGs, or blood tests to pinpoint the issue. This not only enables accurate treatment, but also helps rule out serious conditions like heart failure, lung cancer, or chronic lung diseases. For those with chronic respiratory conditions like COPD or asthma, following prescribed medication regimens is essential. Many seniors forget their doses or stop taking them when they feel better. This is dangerous. Bronchodilators, corticosteroids, and nebulizers aren't signs of dependence. They are quiet allies that help your lungs breathe a little easier each day. Pulmonary rehabilitation is another gentle and modern approach. Breathing exercises, simple, Respiratory muscle training tools or gentle yoga movements can all increase lung volume, improve airflow, and reduce breathlessness. Many elders, after just a few weeks of practice, find they can walk more comfortably, sleep more soundly, and most importantly, feel confident in their own bodies again. Alongside treatment, lifestyle changes are something you can begin today. Choose a low-sodium, vegetable-rich diet and avoid gas-producing foods like fried dishes and sodas. Maintaining a healthy weight helps reduce pressure on the lungs and heart. Drink enough water, but in small, warm sips, to keep the airways moist and functioning smoothly. There's also a rarely discussed but vital factor: posture. When feeling breathless, avoid lying flat. Prop your pillow a bit higher or sit upright to allow full lung expansion. Try the pursed lip breathing technique. Inhale through the nose for 2 seconds. Exhale slowly through the mouth for 4 seconds. This helps slow the breath and reduce panic during sudden breathlessness. Above all, keep your mind at ease. Anxiety and stress are enemies of the breath. When your heart feels heavy, listen to a gentle piece of music. Make a warm cup of tea, or simply close your eyes and count each breath, to remind yourself that you are alive, present, and still deserving of peaceful breathing. Shortness of breath is not the end. It is a pause, a moment to stop, reflect, and realign your pace with your body's needs. With the right treatment, a bit of discipline, and abundant self-love, you can reclaim moments of ease, comfort, and quiet joy. And if today you breathe even slightly easier than yesterday, then that alone is already a victory. 5. Preventing shortness of breath. Breath begins before it hurts. Prevention is always easier than cure, especially when it comes to breathing. Unlike the loud knock of pain, shortness of breath often comes like a gentle breeze, enough to confuse, but not enough to alarm. And if we're not observant, it may quietly weave itself into daily life, until one day we realize breathing has become too difficult. Precisely because of that, breathlessness can absolutely be prevented if we begin with small, ordinary, yet deeply important steps. First, pay attention to the air quality around you. A clean, well-ventilated space, free of smoke, dust, or chemical odors, is the most precious gift you can offer your lungs. If you live near pollution, consider adding dust curtains or keeping a few air-purifying plants like snake plants, ferns, or aloe vera. They not only beautify your space but also serve as natural filters to purify the air daily. If possible, a small air purifier in your bedroom is a worthwhile investment. But even without one, you can keep your air fresh by opening windows in the early morning, cleaning regularly, and avoiding the use of harsh-smelling cleaning products. Next, keep your body warm, especially during early mornings or when seasons shift. A scarf, a thermal layer, or a pair of soft wool socks can prevent cold air from seeping into your chest and triggering breathlessness. Seniors catch colds more easily, and a single lapse in warmth may take days to recover from. We must not forget to build a strong immune system through healthy nutrition. Prioritize green vegetables, fruits, and omega-3 rich foods like salmon and walnuts. They help reduce lung inflammation and improve respiratory function. Drink enough water throughout the day, but do so in small, warm sips to soothe respiratory membranes and prevent dry coughing. Another key factor is gentle, regular movement. You don't need to jog or go to the gym, just walk 15-20 minutes daily in your yard, practice belly breathing, or do a few light yoga stretches. When you move, you're telling your body, I'm still strong, I'm still alive. Also, avoid close contact with those who have respiratory infections, especially during cold seasons or disease outbreaks. If someone is coughing or has a fever, keep your distance, wear a mask, and wash your hands frequently. Elderly lungs are already fragile. Don't make them battle foreign invaders too. Never forget regular health checkups, even when you feel fine. Lung, heart, or neurological diseases can be present in early stages without clear symptoms, but simple tests can detect them. A thorough exam is how you tell your body, I choose to live responsibly in this vessel. And perhaps the most important part of preventing shortness of breath is keeping the spirit light. Someone who often worries, feels anger or sorrow, will tense their breathing and disrupt its rhythm. Learn to let go of what no longer serves you. Learn to forgive. Tune in to the beauty around you. The morning bird song, sunlight through the window, the warmth of tea in trembling hands. Shortness of breath is not just a lung issue, it's a lifestyle story. And when you begin changing little by little each day, your breath will return, softer, deeper, more at peace, because each time you breathe gently and fully, you're telling the world, I am still here, and I am living with all the tenderness I have. By now, perhaps you've come to realize shortness of breath is no longer a vague concern. It's not just the feeling of being winded after a short walk. It is your body's whisper, a quiet plea to be noticed, to be cared for. Together, we've journeyed through the many causes, from hidden illnesses and environmental conditions to seemingly harmless daily habits. Each section of this video isn't just knowledge, it's a gentle knock on the door of self-awareness. What's truly worrisome isn't that you are experiencing shortness of breath. It's that you might not know there's something you can do to ease it, day by day. But the beautiful truth is, the moment you begin, even with the smallest step, your body will respond. It might be a morning when you wake up breathing a little fuller, or an afternoon where you step outside without needing to sit down so soon. You don't have to change everything in one day. Just remember, at any age, you can begin again. Begin with your breath, with a gentle breathing exercise, with saying no to cigarette smoke, or simply with placing a potted plant by your favorite tea spot. Old age is not a downward slope. It is a time to live more deeply, to listen more closely to your body's signals, and to slow down enough to feel each breath passing through your chest. You deserve to live well, to live clearly, to live peacefully. Not for anyone else, but for yourself, for windless afternoons, for the eyes of loved ones, and for the quiet serenity you've long wished for. If you're looking for something simple to begin with, then start today. Open your window in the morning, take a deep breath through your nose, exhale gently through your mouth, and whisper to yourself, thank you, breath. Thank you, new day. You might also schedule a regular health checkup, try a new breathing posture, or practice gentle yoga stretches at home. Each of these is a small seed you plant in your body. And one day, it will bloom into ease and peace. If this content has touched something within you, consider subscribing to the Senior Compass channel. Not to count numbers, but so we can walk this path together, as those who understand that aging deserves to be loved wholly. You've just finished watching 5 ways to prevent and improve shortness of breath in seniors. Which one will you begin with today? Leave a comment, because your story might be the light someone else needs to take their first step. And please remember, beauty isn't in age, it's in how gently we care for ourselves each day. When you care for your breath, you are caring for an entire life. Wishing you a peaceful evening, a restful sleep, and a tomorrow where your chest feels as light as the wind.